Look, I've got some notes here, and all I want to say is this.
I want to point one point that you had about that was really good. You were saying that if you censor yourself, you're just like, I'll just censor myself a little bit. Just a little bit.
You wanted to make this point when we started the show, but please make it. This is the big enchilada.
You made it in the back.
We'll start over.
And it's right. We were talking, and we were, first of all, we gave each other a big hug. We talked it out. We're both happy that we're not angry at each other. And then when we started talking, you made a really good point. You said, the thing is, if you censor yourself just 1%, you say, I'll just censor myself 1%. That's what they want. I'm going to make them happy. And then they're just going to keep moving it. They're just going to keep moving it forward.
Moving the
goalposts and providing you with more money and giving you more things, but keep moving it in a certain direction. And if you keep giving into it, they're going to have a hold of you and they can control you. And that's how network television got started. If you really think about what network television is, the reason why they don't swear and they don't have explicit content isn't because people wouldn't want to see it. The reason is because the advertisers won't let them. There's a whole commerce aspect to it. It's not just, hey, you're the CSI guys, or hey, you're
exactly. And so now they've organized with Sleeping Giants and Media Matters a couple million people that call and threaten and attack anybody. And then notice, Joe, once they're done with me, now it's Joe, you better not have this person on, or you better have that person on. And so what is your soul? What is your destiny worth? And I always thought I was smart because I could analyze politics and history. I was kind of socially retarded. And so
I don't think you're allowed to say that anymore.
Exactly. But I mean, I was. And so that's what I'm getting at is the biggest lie is, I want people to know the truth. I don't come up with some cold-blooded calculation about what I think is going to advance my personal life. I really care about people. And in the process, I've seen things wrong. I've grown. I've hurt people. I apologize.
Listen, that's true. That's true what you're just saying about you. And this is one of the things that I've always tried to explain to people. If people get mad at me for knowing you, I'm like, I have a great time with that guy every time I see him. You and I have had a great time in Austin. We had a great time at the UFC. We've hung out at numerous comedy shows that I've done in Austin. I've done your show.
Films, you've done 20 years ago.
We've had a lot of fun together. And so when people get mad at you about Sandy Hook or about anything, I just go, even when you were mad at me, I wasn't mad at you. I was like, I just got to talk to him. Like, it's one of the reasons Eddie Bravo got the two of us to talk again. I'm like, once we talk and just be honest with each other, we'll be fine.
And I want to clear this up. Because when I was going big guns on you, just so you know what it's like to be judged, I thought that you probably never had me on the show. It was not an attempt to get back on your show.
Listen, I knew that if I'd gotten you to the point where you were that upset, that I must have made mistakes too. I'm not that person that sees things and always points in the other direction. I point at myself. I'm a fucking ruthless self-critic. Ruthless. I'm terrible. Like, I beat myself up about everything. I'll flub one word on stage, and I'll sleep 3 hours at night because I'll be tossing and turning.
Let me raise this to you. And again, self-doubt's a good thing. It's not going to be a narcissist and crazy. I got offered at the time like $5 million worth of Bitcoin. I think it was like $38 million by the time it got there. I refused it. And I got told like 8 years ago, I got told by two different people, very well-known rich people. They said, George Soros likes you. He wants to work with you, and Alexander Soros and this other Soros. You just need to stop attacking him. And by the way, we want you to pump Bitcoin, which I believe in cryptocurrencies. I believe it's the future. We got a private Federal Reserve. It's all fiat. I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying be careful. And I was so dumb back then. I don't even say so dumb. I was not in the corrupt mindset the way the world worked. Like, I knew how politics worked, and I knew how science worked, and I knew how crypto type, government and CIA stuff worked. But I was like never trying to get a deal for myself. I had my own thing.
Right.
So then I look back in retrospect where that was going on. So when I saw you as my breaking point, go, hey, Alex Jones is full of crap. George Soros was a victim of the Nazis and the Holocaust.
That's not what I said. I didn't say you were full of crap. I said he wasn't a Nazi. I go, the story that I watched the interview, and I don't know what he did. I don't know the guy. I don't know him. I know very little about him. But what I remember from the story was that he was saying that when the Nazis occupied, he was with his, I believe it was his uncle. His godfather, and took him around as a Christian and pretended he was a Christian when they were stealing from these Jews, when they would take their, and he just thought it was normal because he was 13 years old, but he was talking about it, that he was shielded by this person.
No, I would be willing to take his explanation, is what I'm saying. But here's the difference. Even before that happened with you, I got approached by a major Hollywood actor that my name's never been associated with, and they said, listen, George Soros told me to tell you that he'd have been killed if he didn't do that, and that he did what he had to do.
Right.
And I said, you tell George, if somebody put a gun to my head and said, we're going to kill you if you don't help round up Joe Rogan's kids and put them in a concentration camp, I'd say, oh yeah, I agree with you, and I'd grab the gun away and kill him.
Didn't he say, he just said that it was just taking property?
No, they were, what do you think? Was you think the Nazis show them take your property and then you don't go away?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
We know what happened in Romania and Hungary, but Joe, here's the difference.
I mean, what he was saying.
They have headlines saying, okay, Joe Rogan.
So you're saying you think that it was more?
No. He did an NPR interview. I'm not trying to go indict George Soros.
Okay, well, here's where I fucked up, because I shouldn't have even said anything about it, because I don't know much about it. The real absolute
It's open to interpretation.
I've seen a couple of interviews.
It's open to interpretation. When I was 14,
it's not open to interpretation for me. I'm telling you, I don't know anything. Let me talking about it was incorrect.
Sure. So when I'm 14, in retrospect, if somebody said you're gonna help round up your community or we're gonna kill you, I would have tried to kill people that were trying to kill my people. I get it. Not everybody's like me. And I'm not trying to the toughest guy around. I think I've proven I'll go up against people. I get you're 14, you're scared, and you help the Nazis. He was so arrogant about it. He said it on NPR. He said it on 60 Minutes. And then I learned you're being sued because you did this. This is why he's financing it. Well, I'm not going to stop saying it because of that. I get he was in a bad situation. The problem was, if you play the clip, he says, it was the best time of my life. It was happy making. It was invigorating to be there with all this evil going on, but I was with my father and I had faith in him, and so we were able to do this. And then I went and looked at the logs and the records of him. He was like going around looking for Anne Frank's, man, and getting their money, and yeah, he got the money and something else. I'm not even running up a white flag to George Soros. George Soros overthrew all these different governments. George Soros tried to crash the pound. George Soros is the archetype of James Bond villains. And the fact that his money, so I remember being a kid when I was like 8 years old. My mom always had a color TV in the kitchen because she cooked 3 meals a day.
Can I stop you? What are you saying that he's like crashing economies and what?
When I was a kid watching PBS, and maybe they were lying, maybe he's great. George Soros was an international currency speculator who overthrew governments.
But that's what I'm saying. What are you saying? He overthrew governments? Like, what did he do? I literally know nothing.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. This is actually declassified.
Do you know anything about George Soros, Jamie? No.
Type in George Soros crashing the pound. Let me tell you more. In George Soros's view, after World War II, he got hired, brought to the U.S. He worked for the CIA, OSS before that.
In his view, from his perspective.
Well, this is admitted. He doesn't brag about this.
Okay.
George Soros is the guy willing to take the money and divvy it out, and he's a very bold guy. He's really smart. I mean, I'm not kissing his ass here, getting him off my back. He's not going to stop. He wants to hang my head on the wall. George Soros does have 150.
Why does he want to hang your head on the wall?
Because I went after him. But the point is, it doesn't matter. George Soros ran the breakup of the Soviet Union. I've had the former head of
what do you got, Jamie? Got anything?
Type in George Soros tried to crash the pound.
The pound.
Anyways, guys, let me tell you. I told you they got human pig. You pulled up MIT.
Yeah.
Okay, I told you they're keeping babies alive. You saw the governor say
it.
George Soros is highest level deep state. He is the manager, or was the manager.
But are you sure of all these things you're saying?
I actually know.
But how do you know if you've
never... Because deep research. He ran because I'm not the Alex Jones 10 years ago. He ran the Marshall Plan.
Let's see what we got here. Did George Soros break the Bank of England? Make that a little bigger, please. In Britain, Black Wednesday, September 16, 1992, the day the speculators broke the pound. They didn't actually break it, but they forced the British government to pull it from the European exchange rate mechanism, joining the ERM.
Which was part of breaking the euro, breaking the pound to launch the euro.
Scroll it up, please. Although it stood apart from the European currencies, the British pound, blah, 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 compounding the underlying problems inherent in the pound's inclusion in the ERM. I'm not seeing this. Where's the part where George Soros does this?
Well, that's just what you pulled up. I mean,
but I'm just trying to find it. That's all I'm saying. Spotting
Joe,
the writing on the wall, Britain upped its interest rates to teens and attract people to the pound, but speculators, George Soros among them, began heavily shorting the currency. The British government gave in and withdrew its ERM as it became clear that it was losing billions trying to buoy its currency artificially. Although it was a bitter pill to swallow, the pound came back stronger because the excess interest and high inflation.
But Joe,
forced out of the British
notice you
economy.
go to Investorpedia, like it's the boss.
Hold on.
There's films about this. Soros has done interviews.
Soros pocketed $1 billion on the deal and cemented his reputation as the premier currency speculator in the world. Now, if you're a currency speculator, isn't that what you do, though? I don't know what a currency speculator does.
Listen, I don't want to get into. Here's the deal: George Soros works for the people that run our government, and he's a guy willing to do it all, and he's been very successful. Okay, my point is 2 + 2 = 4. In my equation, you don't fight the Nazis because you're 13, 14, you think you can't, you join them. And he says, it taught me about investment. If I wouldn't have done it, someone else would have done it. That's a quote. It was happy making. Dude, if you help round up Jews and take their property, don't say it was happy making. Don't talk about it. So my point is him saying.
So you think the way he describes it even is a problem. It's problematic. It disturbs you, the way he's describing, that it was happy making, that it was not a big deal. If I didn't do it, other people would have done it. That's a problem.
What I'm telling you is, and I mean to get off into Soros, is that if I had 5 minutes over there on Jamie's computer and he did a good job, Jamie does a great job, I'm just saying it, pulling stuff up.
He's a goddamn Google wizard. Look at him. He's been beating me at Quake, too. It's very frustrating.
Yeah,